Whether Bigfoot is the living ancestor of the missing link or a perpetually recycled fraud, one thing is certain. It is even more fascinating because it's so elusive. And when I say fascinating, I mean moderately interesting. Nothing captures the public's imagination quite like a pseudo-human with attitude, especially one who lives within 2 hours of Pittsburgh. Number one story on the countdown, Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, was in western Pennsylvania on the 16th of September. Or it might have been a baby Sasquatch. Or not. Here it is. That thing in front of the tree. The infrared photos taken by a stationary camera planted by Rick Jacobs, a hunter from Elk County, Pennsylvania, who says he was hoping to locate deer. What, and photograph them? The exact location has not been disclosed, but it was somewhere in the Allegheny National Forest, about 155 miles northeast of Pittsburgh. Actually, I thought this was a picture of the fans at a Pirates game. I'm sorry. I've been hunting for years, Mr. Jacobs says, and I've never seen anything like this. The internet is buzzing about Jacobs' creature. A representative of the Bigfoot Research Organization says, quote, "My impression is that it is not a bear. It appears to be a primate-like animal. It appears to be a juvenile Sasquatch." In fact, it's a juvenile delinquent Sasquatch. But a spokesman from the Pennsylvania Game Commission disagrees, quoting, "There is no question that it's a bear with a severe case of mange." Meantime, nearby woodland creatures are now responding to the sighting. On that note, let's bring in the producer of World's Greatest Hoaxes Exposed, Bob Kiviat. Good evening, Bob.
Hi, how you doing?
Well, here we go again. I suppose the idea that this is kind of hunched over, one picture's a little easier to make out than the other, the thing's head possibly obscured by its torso, of course its heart did tell. What do you make of this?
Well, you know, it's interesting. They have shot this with surveillance cameras, or a surveillance camera, which is apparently what's going on a lot with phenomena these days. Surveillance cameras are capturing things that are truly sometimes inexplicable. This appears to be a mystery. Right before this was shot, apparently you see bears, or a bear, at least one. So you do see something that's not a Bigfoot or something, and then you see this. So it's truly a mystery, I think.
And
they really do.
As you suggest, the camera that was planted there by the hunter also had previously taken this picture of the two baby bears, and when you compare the two to the so-called Bigfoot picture, your point is well taken that there is some sort of difference. We're looking here at the bears, and the bears have apparently glow-in-the-dark eyes from outer space or something, because they're just clear. And then there's this other thing. But so the basic premise of this is, if this is a stunt, the two photographs are there to create the contrast, to create the doubt in your mind. Is that the idea, if it isn't legit?
Well, absolutely. The idea that maybe someone knew that he had set up the camera and that this was sort of a trick played on him is quite possible. But again, you're looking at a photographic anomaly. I mean, let's face it, this looks like a biped of some type. The legs look very long. It doesn't look like any bear that I've ever seen. So to call it a hoax simply because it can't explain it, I think that's not fair. But I think time will tell. They'll analyze the photographs, and time will tell what kind of image it really is.
You were with us a few years ago when Bob Hieronymus admitted that he was the fellow who put on the gorilla costume to help make the Bigfoot film clip from the late 60s. Do you think all Bigfoot sightings are hoaxes? Or are many of them honest mistakes, and maybe honest mistakes that are then taken advantage of by others?
I think it's a combination, but everyone has to remember that in China, in the Himalayas, in other parts of the world, scientists have recovered DNA, blood, hair. So sometimes there's been truly anomalous evidence associated with sightings, but a lot of the photographs, Keith, and a lot of the videos seem to be some sort of a staged event. But that doesn't mean that these particular photographs are that. I think people have to remain a little bit open-minded so far and give this particular camera and also the photographer who set it up a little bit of a little room here to see what this really is.
And we'll continue the investigation as time goes by, because of course there was another sighting in New Mexico in September of another possible Bigfoot, and we know only one thing that I think we can say with some certainty, that those are probably not the same big feet or Bigfoot. He didn't travel from New Mexico to western Pennsylvania. Bob Kiviat, the producer of World's Greatest Hoaxes Exposed. Great, thanks for coming in for us tonight.
Thanks, Keith.
That's Countdown.